Sadly, those words came out as a hodgepodge of no way. With my heart beating out of my chest and a lump in my throat, I ran out of the building. I made the love of my life cry as I selfishly drove off, and everyone in the restaurant dropped their jaws. I've never felt so ashamed in my life. Welcome to r/Today I Effed Up. And today we're stepping away from those not safe for work stories and instead diving into more innocent, sweet ending Today I Effed Ups. Trust me, these stories are absolutely amazing, so I don't wanna waste another second and let's get straight into it. Today I effed up by not knowing about sunblock expiration dates. I applied SPF 100 sport spray every hour, give or take, for roughly 4 hours. I was hanging out at the lake and at a slightly higher elevation, so the water reflection and elevation probably increased the damage. I pretty much had no idea that I had a problem until I scratched an itch on my back and it hurt really badly. I considered for a split second that I had a burn, but like an idiot, I rationalized it as sunblock burned the broken skin from the scratch. The blisters formed by the next day, and I started reading the can to see if I missed anything about applying it. I found the customer service number and called it. Before talking to anyone, I had a recording tell me that the FDA does not require expiration dates on sunblock, and to consider it expired after 3 years. This bottle was easily 4 to 5 years old. I had no clue. I went off to the doc and got some amazing medicated gauze, and they sent me home with pain meds after cleaning the burn off and showing everyone in the building. It was easily one of the most painful things I have ever experienced, except when my tank top straps got dried to my blisters on my shoulders and became part of the blister scabs overnight. Trying to pull them off was almost blackout pain. I soaked in a tub for a while until they basically melted off. This was preventable. Sunblock expires. Please check yours and make sure you store it according to the instructions. And this post has a picture attached, and the post is rated not safe for work for it. I actually have a similar story where I put on some sunscreen and about an hour later I was like, hey, why am I all red? Turns out the sunscreen was expired and not doing its job properly, so yeah, expiration dates sorta matter. Today I effed up by not correcting my cashier when she mistook me for a coworker. Today was my first day off work since Friday last week, and I decided to run some errands. While I was out, I ducked into a grocery store to buy a drink and noticed that the store's FPOS was down. The cashier told me that they could still process the sale. I just had to sign for it and the money would be taken out once it came back online. On my drive home, I realized that I had forgotten to pick up stuff for dinner, so I swung into the grocery store closest to my place, which happened to be the same brand as the one earlier. I got my stuff with no problem and went to line up at the conveyor belt, and this was where my F-up began. I'm a person with anxiety, so I always prepare something to say when I'm inevitably asked how my day is going. I knew that I was going to respond with, good, it's been pretty busy, although I did have a sleep in this morning since I was at work so late last night. I got up to the cashier and said, hello. She just looked at me in surprise and went, oh, are you not working today? And I just panicked. This wasn't what I had prepared for, so my stupid brain decided to go with what I had already prepared, and I said, nah, I was working late last night, so I'm not in today. The second it came out of my mouth, I wanted to hit myself. Why didn't I just say that I didn't work there? Sure, I could correct her now, but I'm already in too deep. So we start talking about work. She complains about having a 3-hour shift and how it only works out as 2.5 hours pay. For some reason, I say that I'm lucky that I'm not working since it looks like it's a busy day. She asks me if I've heard anything about Sean leaving. I said that I heard he is. She was upset about that. He's a nice guy. I agreed. He's one of the good ones. I have no effing clue who Sean is. I managed to lie my way through the conversation, mentally berating myself, but also congratulating myself on my tremendous acting skills. We get to the point where I'm about to pay, and what do you know? The FPOS is down. Part of my coping for anxiety is trying to make others as comfortable and happy as possible. So instead of having her freak out over the system going down, I simply explained to her how to process the sale. Information I only know because I was at the other store 2 hours ago. She looks at me and goes, "Well, at least someone who works here knows what they're doing." I laughed nervously. Yeah, right. Then she asks me for my staff card to scan for my staff discount. And of course, I don't have a goddamn card. Who do you think I am, an employee? Luckily, since I had only shoved my credit card into my phone case instead of bringing my whole purse, I managed to come up with a lie about how I didn't have my full purse, so I don't have my card. That's alright though, she can put it through on hers and I can sign it. I signed a name that definitely wasn't mine. Is that illegal? Probably not. I then picked up my bags and ran. Didn't even say bye. I needed out of there. As I hurried away, I heard the guy on the register behind her turn around and go, "Did you know her?" I don't think I can ever go back there. Either I'd have to attempt to keep up the pretense or go back and own up to it and face the shame. So I think I'll take option 3 and avoid my neighborhood grocery store like the plague. I mean, that's just so awkward when someone mistakes you for someone else. They're like, "Oh, hey!" And you're like, "Hey, do I know you?" He's like, yeah, you're Jeff." They're like, I'm sorry, I'm not Jeff. I don't know who Jeff is. Today, I effed up when I said no to my girlfriend's proposal. Yeah, I effed up today. See, I've been dating my girlfriend Kay for 5 years now. We're deeply in love, we have pets together, we live together. I've wanted to propose to her for about 2 years. The reason I haven't is that about 2 years ago, I got diagnosed with a rare disease and have been on and off several medications and chemotherapy. It's been very rough on the two of us, but Kay has stuck with me every step of the way. My disease, GPA, is chronic and deadly when left alone, and tough to beat in my particular case. I'm starting drugs that haven't been FDA approved for my condition. All other typical forms of treatment have failed and things are kinda bleak, but not terrible just yet. This new drug is promising, but hasn't been guaranteed to work. I'm terrified to say the least. All of this medical stuff has prevented me from being able to go outside, let alone commit to anything serious. I want to be healthy and stable before I even think about marriage. I don't want to leave Kay as a widow with no support. Kay and I had talked here and there about getting married, but had always come to the conclusion that I needed to go into remission first. We agreed to it, or so I thought. Flash forward to a few hours ago, and Kay is with my family in a public restaurant, holding a ring and getting down on one knee. I saw my father, who has an extensive history of butting into my private affairs without asking to be involved, with his eyes wide and smiling. I immediately started freaking out. My first thought, I haven't even gone into remission yet, and I have no clue if I'm going to get better. I cannot get married and then hear that the drugs aren't working. What if I die from all of this? And my second thought, God damn it, Dad. Why do you always have to try and manipulate everything from behind the scenes? Guess I'm coming off as a bit of a brat here, but my dad was a very involved parent when I was young. When I entered high school, my father would play me up to college recruiters, my boss at the time, and to my teachers. The expectations would get so high that I couldn't live up to them. Similar situations happened with my friends and extended family as well. And I find this would be a real problem if my dad is left unchecked. I would go more in depth, but that is a post for another r/. Back to the story. Anyway, I'm freaking out. I just start sputtering the first words that come out of my mouth. Sadly, those words came out as a hodgepodge of no way. With my heart beating out of my chest and a lump in my throat, I ran out of the building. I made the love of my life cry as I selfishly drove off and everyone in the restaurant dropped their jaws. I've never felt so ashamed in my life. After calming down, I talked to my mother and drove back to talk to Kay. In the parking lot, without my family, we discussed what went down. Tears were shed and things were said. Kay told me I was being selfish. We've been dating for years. Who cares if you die? I want to marry you. She also explained that the whole proposal was her idea. My dad had nothing to do with it. She understood why I would be paranoid about my dad though. Kay understands that my dad has boundary issues and admitted that it would have been better if she didn't include them. In the end, we reconciled. We made up, decided that I was being ridiculous and paranoid, and she wasn't forthcoming with her real feelings on marriage, engagement, and how my disease affects our relationship. We came to the conclusion that we should be engaged. We want to spend the rest of our lives together, no matter what the circumstances. Now I'm engaged. Still have no idea if my new drug is gonna save me, but if I do end up in an even worse place medically during it all, I'll be with my best friend/lover. Kay is my world, and I'm an idiot for ever considering not spending my life with her. Thanks for listening. But this one just ended well. OP, I hope you get better. I hope your medication works and you're able to spend your life happily together. Today I effed up by dropping off my dog at a kid's summer camp. Technically yesterday and not today, but yesterday I effed up sounds like some odd anime genre, so it's summer, which means my 6-year-old daughter goes to summer camp. I was dropping her off at about 8ish, and I was also going to drop my dog off at doggy daycare, because the gardeners are coming today and they don't appreciate her trying to protect them from those murderous rakes and lawnmowers. For the record, my dog is a 13-year-old black lab/pit bull mix. Anyway, stopped at the summer camp, my daughter grabbed the dog's leash and walked her to the drop-off desk to show her to her friends. I signed my daughter in and then I just drove off. In my defense, well, I've got nothing. Honestly, I just forgot the dog there. So my wife picks up our daughter in the afternoon and quite surprised to find the dog there with her. Apparently, the dog and the kids had a great day at summer camp. Now I have pictures of my dog participating in such activities such as paint a rock. She didn't do very well on this one. Learning about dinosaurs, didn't participate, and digging for fossils, which was right in her sweet spot of digging bones out of dirt. She also enjoyed water activities and apparently stole some snacks. She got a free t-shirt and we got a picture of her wearing the shirt with her camp team wearing identical shirts. All in all, this could have gone worse. And for all those asking, yes, the camp called me. Twice, and left voicemails both times. Number was not one I recognized, so I didn't pick up or check for voicemail. I know, today I effed up. The number is now programmed in. Both messages were very polite and highly amused, but they did ask if I could come pick the dog up. I clearly didn't, so they just gave up and included her in the day's activities. And yes, the whole thing could have gone a lot worse. Huge props to the camp for making a good thing out of my F-up. And once again, this F-up turned into a beautiful moment. Like people working at the camp, great job there, and I feel like the day just got a bit better with the dog, just got that little bit more exciting. Today I effed up by saying I was tired to my wife. Came home from the gym, it's leg day, had full day at work too. Work isn't bad, came home to happy kids. Wife does a great job at keeping them alive. The best. Had to take a shower before bed. Wife says hurry because she's tired. I empathize by saying I will hurry because I'm also tired. Bad idea. Wife proceeds to tell me how she is the most tired because of the kids. I do not dispute this since I am not a total moron. Kids are exhausting, but totally worth it. I tell her as much. She is most tired. I am only kind of tired. Not good enough. She is more tired. I agreed with this in order to ease the tension. Unsuccessful. She is fully triggered by the fact that I had the audacity to say that I'm tired. There is no escape. I'm screwed. Wow, this is such a weird one, and the strange grammar just makes it so much better. And don't worry about their relationship, guys. There's edits down the bottom saying that their relationship is fine. This was just the frustrations at the end of a long, tiring day. Today, I effed up by forcing a single mother to pay for both our meals. And this one honestly makes you cringe so hard, so keep watching to find out. So, first time posting here and still 10 shades red from the embarrassment. So I decided on my payday to treat myself to a breakfast at the International House of Pancakes. I get seated and enjoy my Dr. Pepper waiting for my meal when I see a woman across the restaurant sitting with her 2 small children, about 3 and 4. Nothing out of the ordinary, except I see that the 2 children are sharing a pancake and a water, and thought about my mum being single and struggling, so I decided to do something good for a change. When my waitress came by, I asked if I could get my check and the woman's as well, and to tell her to order whatever she wanted. The waitress looked pleasantly surprised and informed the mother that someone offered to pay for her meal and to order whatever she wanted. So she got both the kids some pancakes in the shape of a smiley face and a stack of pancakes for herself and orange juices all around. The waitress informed the mother that I paid for the meal. It should be noted that there were 3 tables being sat, and we were the only ones in that side of the restaurant. And she smiled and waved at me. I nodded as I finally achieved enough good karma to clear my conscience and headed for the register. Here's where the F-up began. The manager checked me out and told me that paying for her meal was so nice of me to do. And I batted the compliment away just enough to be humble but stroke my ego. As she tells me the balance, I pull out my wallet and hand her my AutoZone rewards card. She stares at me blankly and then I look down. I am mortified. That is where I leave my debit card. And that's when it hits me that I bought something at Kinokuniya the day before and wrapped my receipt around my card, then threw the bag and receipt in the trash. Now I do have Google Pay, so I figured I could pay with that, since most places that take Apple Pay take Google Pay as well. However, they said to me that their location is cash only. The reason for that will never be known to me. The manager is super understanding, but says something about things happening for a reason, and straight up that she can't allow me to leave without paying. I realize now that I've created a situation in which I've allowed a woman to order food that she thinks is free, only for it to turn out that some butthole left her with the bill. I have no choice but to ask the only other customer if I could have him pay for both our meals and I could follow him to the bank. The look on this man's face was so condescending and confused that as soon as I asked, I apologized and walked away. Now with no other options, I have to do the hands down most embarrassing and cringiest thing in my life. At this point, I don't know if the mother has caught wind of what's going on, but when I approached her, she told me how appreciative she was. She had just been laid off and just wanted to let her kids eat something before she takes them to the welfare office for the rest of the day, just to try and get on food stamps. At this point, she had tears in her eyes, and I did as well, thinking of my own mother and how little things like a pancake with a whipped cream smiley face made my whole week, and how my mother did her very best to try allow us to have a normal childhood, and I am forever grateful to her for that. However, the whole time, I'm thinking of how to break it to her. And as I'm about to tell her the situation, she tells her kids to thank me, and they do. The whipped cream all over their faces, smiling and laughing, and at this point I feel as though I'm in Impractical Jokers or some type of prank show. You're so welcome, but I actually kinda lost my debit card. I have the money in my bank account. If you have something like Cash App or Venmo, I could pay you. Would it be possible for you to pay for both of us? I don't believe in God, but in that moment, I wanted him to smite my butt and send me straight to hell. Her face turned blank, with such a sad look on her face as to say, "Please, you can't be serious." I realized by her face that she didn't have the money, and we both kinda glanced at her kids who didn't have a care in the world as to what happens now. At this point, I have no idea what I'm going to do. Everyone I know is at work. I'm not in my usual area and I feel super bad for putting this lady in this position against her will. Luckily, the turning point of the story is that she said that her brother works about 10 minutes away and has a card and can come pay the bill. I apologized profusely and was only trying to make her day a little better. She was also very understanding and grateful. The brother came by to pay the bill. I paid him back and then some. After it was all said and done, we had a little bit of a laugh about it, and we parted ways. But I mean, I'm sort of conflicted about a different situation. What if OP had just been there on his own and had just had his own meal and then couldn't pay for it? I mean, would the pancake place just lock him up in there forever and be like, "Nope, until you've paid this off, you're not leaving"? But I mean, I reckon if he left some valid ID there, like driver's license or passport, they should have let him out and gone to the nearest bank to withdraw some money. Alright guys, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this installment of r/Today I Effed Up. And if you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel for Reddit videos 3 times every week. Videos come up every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday and cover a whole bunch of different subreddits. Also, if you have your own stories, make sure to post them in the comments down below. I absolutely love reading your comments and I'll try to reply to as many of you as I can. But for now guys, that's it from me. I hope you all enjoyed and all I want to do is see you all here next time. See you later guys.